Marseille, where a small French flotilla leaves for the start line of an overnight race to join a much bigger fleet already assembling in Saint-Tropez. In San Remo, a large Italian contingent prepares to depart for the same destination, finalizing strategies for their annual nautical contretemps with their French neighbors. For 65 years now, sailors across Europe have gathered to race on the Côte d'Azur. Summoned by the conviviality and camaraderie of the event known to its admirers as the Old Lady of the Mediterranean. For the competition and cordiality among the crews, the scale and sophistication of the fleet, and the sheer glamour of its surroundings, few international yacht races quite match the Giraglia Rolex Cup.
Aver fatto la Giraglia Rolex Cup significa essere in qualche modo nella storia della vela, comunque nazionale, internazionale e voglio dire anche mondiale, perché sono tanti grandi campioni che arrivano e vogliono partecipare e condividere questa esperienza.
Almost 250 yachts from more than 20 nations have now gathered in Saint-Tropez to contest the inshore races and the 241 nautical mile dash to Genoa via the Giraglia Rock off Corsica that gives the event its name. A melange of the cutting edge and the classic of committed crews and Corinthians, the fleet is studded with top professional teams, including star lineups on 3 ultra-competitive Maxi 72s.
It's one of my favourite regattas. You get a wide spread of boats, it's competitive, and this whole thing about the Giraglia Rock is quite mystical when you go around it. Always had great fun, loved the regatta. Started in Saint-Tropez, can't be bad.
I think we were about the same speed last year, and we did some improvements over the winter, so it seems that they have paid out, at least in the light. But then, of course, Momo is another question, because they, I think, were completely changing their boat over the winter, yeah, because they were really not satisfied. So we'll see.
Among the yachts to complete the journey from San Remo is a 44-foot sloop built in 1946 called Gelina, a name unfamiliar to some, but a legend to followers of post-war racing history. Entwined in her remarkable rise to fame is a captivating story recounted by her current owner, Luciano Frattini.
L'allora armatore, che era una persona molto competitiva, sente parlare di questa nuova regata che si sta organizzando tra lo Yacht Club de France e lo Yacht Club Italiano, chiamata Giraglia, decide di iscriversi e vince.
Described by the French press in her heyday as a magnificent racing animal, she won the next 2 editions of the event in 1954 and 55. But despite her pedigree, she was found by her current owner rotting away in shallow water on Elba Island. Another year and she'd have been beyond repair.
Abbiamo quindi recuperato fotografie dell'epoca, disegni originali dell'architetto Cornu, e quindi attraverso un paziente lavoro di 3 anni Gelina è stata portata alle sue iniziali condizioni. Una delle caratteristiche che venivano riconosciute a Eugène Cornu, all'architetto, era il disegno particolare a canoa che lui usava spesso soprattutto per le barche da regata, e quindi con questa particolare forma riusciva a rendere la barca molto maneggevole e veloce, soprattutto sui laschi.
The 2017 edition of the Giraglia will mark Gelina's first competitive appearance since her restoration at the event in which she raced with such distinction so long ago.
È la sensazione di stare a bordo di una barca di 70 anni, con la storia che ha avuto. E beh, è una sensazione molto bella che probabilmente sulle barche moderne non hai. Hai altre sensazioni, ma su queste barche d'epoca ci sono sensazioni nuove che solo qui provi. Credo che sia nel cuore di tutti il tornare indietro 57 anni appunto e poter ammirare e vedere la barca che fu nel cuore di chi vinse la Giraglia in quel momento, ma anche degli spettatori che assistettero alla regata. E questo è il motivo per cui siamo qui.
In Saint-Tropez, care and attention to detail are not lavished on yachts alone. While the fleet enjoys their host's hospitality after 3 days of inshore racing, work elsewhere reveals the taste and tradition for which the town is renowned.
Alors la tarte tropézienne, c'est une brioche garnie de crème tropézienne. Et là, elles sont agrémentées de fraises. C'est une belle histoire qui a démarré en 1955 avec Brigitte Bardot. Et elle est tombée amoureuse de la tarte tropézienne. C'est elle qui a donné le nom de la tarte et qui a fait connaître ensuite dans toute la France.
For Philippe Grouillet's brigade, quality of ingredients and consistency are vital, even when production climbs to over 3,000 items every night during the summer months.
En ce moment, on a la Giraglia Rolex Cup qui nous amène une panoplie de bateaux qui font des régates. Donc on est sur le qui-vive pour faire de plus en plus de tropéziennes. On a plein de marins qui sont là, qui aiment ce produit-là. Quand ils ont fini leur course pour le goûter, ça leur fait plaisir.
Always a stern test, this year's offshore race presents the fleet with an even trickier challenge. A modest breeze is forecast initially, but between the turning mark at La Formigue and the Giraglia Rock lie patchy winds and difficult transitions. Conditions beyond the rock are also uncertain, making the best route across the Ligurian Sea to Genoa hard to determine. By noon on race day, there's a steady 7 knots in the Gulf of Saint-Tropez. Enough to get 209 entrants on 3 start lines safely underway. It's a stately entrance, but once again, the old lady of the Mediterranean does not disappoint. Setting the pace in what promises to be an absorbing battle both for line honours and the overall prize are the 3 blisteringly quick Maxi 72s. Dieter Schön's Momo, Sir Peter Ogden's Jetu, and Kaul Ila A, owned by Alex Scherer. Hard on their heels, the likes of Atalanta 2, Pendragon 6, and from South Africa, Adrian de Villiers' High Fidelity. There are other contenders optimized for the course and conditions. Among them are TP52s like Vadim Yakimenko's Freccia Rossa, determined to avoid the errors that had derailed her previous attempts. Back to try their luck once more are Gilles Page's crew on Tip, winner of last year's overall title. Beyond them, Jelena, their earliest predecessor, tackling her first Giraglia since her restoration. Even as the leading trio head along the coast, the transition zones between different weather patterns and how best to tackle them are already clouding the horizon for the fleet's navigators and skippers. One of them is Gianmarco Magrini on Vito 2. A serial entrant and a serious competitor, a yachtsman who returns year after year, unable to resist the challenge the event presents.
Giraglia, c'est une course mythique quand même, hein. Bon, elle est là, ça fait plusieurs générations de yachtmen qui sont venus. Et puis ça fait partie de ce circuit Rolex. Et c'est vrai que moi, un jour, j'irai à la Sydney au bar. Je pense que j'irai aussi au Fastnet. C'est ça, la voile, c'est à la fois une passion et puis c'est des événements extraordinaires.
Born in Luxembourg, Magrini has been returning to his parents' house in Beauvalon across the bay from Saint-Tropez nearly every summer since he was a child. A walk on the beach, part of his annual pre-race ritual.
Alors pourquoi cette plage? Pourquoi on est là aujourd'hui? C'est parce que c'est mon enfance, c'est ma famille, c'est les soirées avec les copains, les copines, les premières copines, les premiers amours, les premiers baisers. La voile est un sport qui est un éternel recommencement. C'est pas parce qu'on a été bon une année qu'on est bon tous les ans. On a des nouveaux équipiers, donc chaque année est une nouvelle expérience. Cette année, on va avoir un équipage un peu différent, avec des gens qui, de nouveau, sont motivés pour gagner la Giraglia. Et on revient avec un esprit de combattant qui est tout neuf à chaque fois.
There's no lack of resolve or determination among the fleet. It's steady breeze that's in short supply. For the leading Maxis, progress to the Giraglia Rock has proved patchy, unpredictable, and painfully slow. In perfect conditions in 2012, Estimate Europa rounded the rock in fading light on the first day, en route to a new course record. This year, by contrast, the leaders have still to materialize when darkness lifts on the second. When they first feel the warmth of the sun, the crews on the two leading boats remain well short of the iconic landmark. After a trying night characterized by light, fluky winds, Momo and Kaul'ila are within sight of each other, locked in a reluctant embrace that has tested their patience and poise. Behind them, and still in contention, is Lionel Pell's SFS, the former Volvo Ocean race entrant Puma. They're now ensconced among a group of chasing yachts that includes Carlo Puro Negri's Atalanta 2 and Nicola Paoleschi's team on Pendragon 6. Not far behind, the dogged Caro. It's not until nearly 9 o'clock on the second day that Dieter Schön's crew on Momo rounds the Giraglia Rock. Having focused their preparations exclusively on the offshore race, they arrive with a 4-minute lead over Kaul'ila R. All too aware their narrow advantage could swiftly evaporate. Marginally quicker downwind, Alex Scherer's men prepare for the next phase of their compelling match race, confident of reeling in their rivals on the remaining leg to Genoa. The chasing yachts reach the rock without mishap. They avoid the fate of the third Maxi 72, Sir Peter Ogden's Jetu, which, after becoming becalmed for 6 hours, later retires from the race. The Giraglia Rolex Cup is not the sole preserve of large, fully crewed yachts like Ita 102, Adriano Calvini's elegant crowd pleaser, or lovingly tended classics like the schooner Freya. Open to short-handed entries since 2014, it holds the same appeal for sailors like Gilles Caminard and Sébastien Novara, making their Giraglia debut as a pair in one of the double-handed categories on Schön 3.
Ouais, alors moi, c'est vraiment un challenge en double. C'est une histoire humaine. Il y a effectivement le bateau, la compétition, la voile, qui est une passion. Et puis après, il y a le partage entre 2 personnes. Et sur un bateau qui normalement se mène à 8 personnes.
Et nous ne serons pas 2 à bord, on est presque 3 parce qu'il y a le pilote automatique, qui est surtout sur du petit temps comme on devrait avoir et souvent plus régulier. Et on travaille plus la navigation pour aller chercher l'endroit où il y a du vent et aller vite.
Caminard and Novara are not short of experience. It's some of their other qualities that will be put to the biggest test.
Alors le fait d'être 2, effectivement, va demander beaucoup plus d'énergie. Déjà sur le sommeil, il va falloir qu'on gère correctement nos sommeils, l'alimentation. Si on peut se retrouver, comme Gilles le disait, dans les 5e ou voire plus, tant mieux. Et après, c'est aussi le but de faire quelque chose de bien avec l'ensemble des autres bateaux et de se mesurer par rapport aux différents concurrents qu'il y a sur la course.
For most competitors, the second day promises to be long and slow. While some harness the little breeze on offer, others are mired in windless zones, options and expectations diminishing.
La nuit a été assez difficile et là nous sommes en train d'arriver à la Giraglia après plus de 30 heures de course. Donc ça va être une course longue cette année. Il n'y a pas beaucoup de vent, la mer est plate, donc c'est extraordinaire d'un point de vue paysage, mais c'est long.
At the head of the fleet, conditions have been just as challenging. Since rounding the rock, Momo and Kaolila R have fought a day-long battle for line honours supremacy, the lead changing repeatedly en route to Genoa. Finally, 30 miles out, Momo outsmarts her rival to take a lead she never relinquishes. It's the last decisive move in a 241 nautical mile match race. After 32 hours, 52 minutes and 4 seconds, it's Dieter Schön's men who prevail. Their winning margin over Kaolila R, little more than 8 minutes. Alex Scherer's crew, there's the consolation at least of staying in contention with such a fully optimized opponent for so long. Experience banked and expectations raised for next year.
Es war eine lange Regatta, es war interessant, es war sehr, sehr wenig Wind, aber das war ein guter Kampf mit Kaolila und da braucht man auch Glück, um zum Schluss dann als Erster über die Ziellinie zu fahren.
We were able to go a bit faster or deeper with the Spinnaker than them, so that's why we could roll them twice actually, yeah. But of course they came back twice again. But I think we could still match them almost in speed, so which is a huge improvement from us from last year.
The Yacht Club Italiano, the fleet's destination and the event's co-host, is the oldest and most venerated in Italy. But access to it from the water is neither easy nor exclusive. Founded in 1879, it's a newcomer compared to the port of Genoa that encircles it, the 5th largest in the Mediterranean, and shares the water with all kinds of ships all year round. Keeping the traffic moving is the responsibility of the 24-strong port pilot team, among them Michele Buongiardino, now in his 4th year in the role.
Allora, nel porto di Genova svolgiamo annualmente circa 16.000 manovre e quindi praticamente sono dalle 800 alle 900 manovre per pilota. Queste manovre comprendono qualsiasi tipo di nave, dalla più grande nave passeggera che arriva al giorno d'oggi, alle navi container, alle navi carico, agli yacht.
Genoa's pilots are a committed bunch, operating around the clock all year in good weather and in bad.
Il pilota è proprio conosce alla perfezione il porto, le caratteristiche meteorologiche, le correnti, i venti e tutti i trucchi necessari per andare all'ormeggio e lasciarlo nella maniera più sicura. Ora non vorrei usare una parola un po' blasfema, ma fare il pilota è quasi una missione. Io ho sempre avuto questa passione stremata per la manovra. La manovra è una cosa che mi eccita, che mi dà, diciamo, un pizzico di adrenalina, pur manovrando sempre nella sicurezza più totale. Però ti fa provare delle sensazioni che altri lavori non ti permettono. Lavori nel mare e soprattutto la sera vai a dormire a casa e non sei in giro per il mondo lontano dalla tua famiglia. Sicuramente nei giorni della Giraglia il traffico di Genova è aumentato in maniera esponenziale, abbiamo avuto parecchi sailing boat in arrivo, ci ha complicato leggermente la vita ma non c'è stato nessun problema e anzi è stato un onore ospitare un numero così cospicuo di barche a vela perché è stato un motivo di orgoglio per noi di Genova, sicuramente. Grazie, ciao!
By early afternoon on the 3rd day, the trickle of boats into Genoa finally becomes a flood. Not far behind them, and leading their class in only their second full race as a pair, are Gilles Caminard and Sébastien Novara on Schön 3, who managed to avoid the worst of the wind traps on a Giraglia debut to remember.
Et qui approche avec 3,2 de vitesse, 353 de cap, c'est le petit bateau rouge en bas qu'on voit, et le point jaune en haut à Gênes, qui est notre arrivée. Et voilà, une belle Giraglia qui va se terminer, mais c'est pas fini, il y a encore du boulot.
Also soon safely across the line are Gianmarco Magrini's team on Vito 2, unable to improve on last year's position of 11th overall, but certain to renew their challenge in the next edition. Having languished for so long earlier in the race, the smaller yachts have long since dropped out of contention for the overall title. After an error-free performance that brought them home on the first night, a Russian entry soared to the top of the leaderboard and has remained there ever since. The following morning, the overall winner is confirmed as the TP52 Freccia Rossa.
Я очень долго, несколько лет, принимаю участие в этой регате. И для меня это, конечно, большое событие выиграть эту гонку. Giraglia Rolex Cup. Огромные усилия со стороны команды было приложено. Мы не сделали ни одной ошибки. Одно из тех событий, которые можно помнить всю свою жизнь.
At the prize-giving ceremony at the Yacht Club Italiano, Marcus Visa from Dieter Schön's crew on Momo is on hand to receive the Line Honours Award after their absorbing duel with Kaul Ila R. Then it's the turn of Vadim Yakimenko's predominantly Russian team to step forward.
Freccia Rossa.
The second TP52 crew to claim the prestigious overall title in recent years. It's their teamwork and togetherness in difficult conditions that proves the defining moment of the 65th Giraglia Rolex Cup, and the competition and camaraderie the event has always embodied. Next time on Spirit of Yachting, we'll be in Porto Cervo, Sardinia, for the best in one design action at the Rolex 540 World Championship. Join us again then.